A year after she did the deed, she now wants to show her love and put me first. Part 1. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. My wife finally told me last week about her physical affair that happened over a year ago. For 6-ish months she was meeting up with her ex-BF from before we were married. She says it started innocently. She was trying to reconnect with the music and art scene that this guy is a part of. She also says she was deeply angry and filled with angst towards society when this happened. Think, militant feminist angry at the white male patriarchy. Eventually she escalated it to a physical affair and had sex with him a dozen plus times. At the time she did tell me that she had been messaging him a bit to get legal advice, AP as an attorney. But never told me she met up, and I never suspected an affair took place. I was taken completely by surprise when she told me. I don't want to say when exactly it happened, but she was cheating on me within a year of our wedding. Since ending it with AP then, she sought out therapy on her own and realized how SHT it was to betray me, and also that her previous worldview was super messed up and affected by heavy cognitive distortions and paranoia, she thinks caused by her traumatic childhood. Still a feminist, but no longer filled with angst and hatred for men or seeking acts of revenge for perceived injustice to her. She fessed up a year after ending the affair by ghosting the guy. We stayed up for hours talking, crying, asking/answering questions after she confessed, and she seems genuinely remorseful and regretful for her actions. She wants to show her love and put me first. She blocked his number and blocked him on social media. She said she wants me to creep on her on Find My Friends. She says it's me and only me that she wants. She sees a future for us if I'm willing to stick around. The thing is that our marriage was not in a great place at all throughout the time of the affair, but in the last year we've actually made major progress and grown closer together. I've read about hysterical bonding and I certainly feel like that's happening, for me at least. But also real genuine progress. Learning the truth actually explains some of her behavior at the time. I'm feeling some crazy yo-yo feelings of insane jealousy, anger, despair, low self-worth, intense libido, but also love and affection for my wife and feelings of hope too. The affair wasn't good for us, but our marriage wasn't good for us the way it was either, and though this isn't what I would have wanted, we're picking up the pieces. Update: so, what's changed in a month? Have I found any additional clarity? Have we made progress in reconciliation? It's complicated. After journaling about it for a few days, and long nights, I wound up with a list of 50 questions that I wanted answered. Many of them were about the sexual aspects of the PA, but a good many were also about her emotional state, motivations, what kept her in the affair, whether she loved him, etc. One night, about 2 weeks ago, we got drunk together and I brought up the questions. We talked until 3:30 a.m., which was not ideal, but we did get through a lot of them. Trickle truths. It turns out the affair lasted more like a year, not the 6 months she initially told me. Discovering this felt like pulling teeth. She has a hazy memory of the affair timelines, and I had to ask her the same question a few different ways to finally get clarity. To be honest, I'm still not sure if she's being honest about the timelines, but that might be due to a general feeling of distrust. Learning about the affair timeline truth set us back to square one in terms of trust. She initially told me that nobody other than AP and herself knew about the affair. Well, AP's roommate knew, and so did my wife's best friend. Now that I know this, I can deal with it. I still have many questions that I want to ask her, and I think we'll get there. The urgency feels less strong, and actually upon reflection I regret finding out some of the details. The truth hurts, but at least it's the truth. My wife has been in control of the truth for the last few years. It's time for her to let go and let the truth be the truth. Sexual encounters. Her affair included dozens of sexual encounters. Probably 50 plus. I went back to review my sexual activity tracking. Yes, I'm an enormous nerd who tracks his sexual activity in obsessive detail, and indeed our sex life during the affair was abysmal. A sad hand job once or twice a month. I gave her oral sex a few times, and the thought of which sickens me now that I know she was with her AP frequently during this time. At the time, we had a number of conversations about our abysmal sex life, and in retrospect she was clearly gaslighting me. She claimed to have not much need for sex, and made me think my desire was abnormal all the while she was meeting her AP once or twice a week for casual sex. Trust your guts, friends. Being gaslighted sucks, and to this day I still don't know how to handle sexual thoughts and urges. Being honest with my wife about my sexual needs is incredibly uncomfortable, and I don't really see a light at the end of the tunnel. She claims the affair wasn't about the sex per se, that AP had a small penis, and that he wasn't good at sex, and that our married sex is far better. She said he was pressuring and she didn't like that. I have a hard time fully believing this, since why would she pursue and stay in an affair for an entire year if it wasn't good or enjoyable? Triggers. My wayward wife would meet her AP in the middle of the afternoon, often for drinks at a local bar, or she would just head straight to his place for sex. My wife has a flexible job that allows her to leave and return to work whenever she wants. This is now a trigger for me. When she leaves the house, I get anxious. When she doesn't text me during the day, I get anxious. In a recent casual conversation, she mentioned that she's proud to have worked hard to have a job that allows her to F off in the middle of the day, if she wants to. Bad choice of words on her part and immediately triggered me right on the spot, in the middle of a busy restaurant. Her AP had a pet name for her, My Love. I've been calling my wife My Love for years, and now it feels like that pet name is a toxic sludge that I never want to touch again. Each time I slip into old ways and call her My Love, I'm triggered. I've tried to come up with new names for her, and that's helping. My wife and I used to have a joke where we'd yell betrayal to each other at the smallest thing. Like, getting a glass of water and not offering one to the other person, or leaving the room without saying be right back. Now, whenever she makes this joke, I die inside. The experience of getting triggered is essentially, my thoughts and feelings are immediately hijacked uncontrollably, and at least the next 10 to 15 minutes I will not be able to make eye contact or communicate in any way. Mind movies of the affair playing on repeat. Immediately, I have low self-confidence and feelings of worthlessness. After some time, I can start to let go and come back to reality. If my wife is questioning me during this period, I just ignore her and focus on my breathing. She's started to realize when I'm being triggered, which is helping her act in a more sensitive and patient way, instead of trying to reassure me or love bomb me. Counseling. I signed up for a counseling appointment and had my first session. Not a total disaster, but not what I was hoping for either. It's hard to build connections remotely in the age of COVID. I think I will switch my counselor for the next session. I was paired with a woman, but I think I might value a masculine perspective on what I'm going through. I've heard it's not uncommon to try out 3 to 4 therapists before finding a good connection. The counselor told me to get offline when I mentioned I had been reading a lot of this subreddit This Is Bad Advice emo, and I get a lot of value from the perspective shared here. I've asked my wife to find a marriage counselor for us to start working through this stuff together. She hasn't made it a priority, and it's been a week or so with no action. I've made a list of local marriage counselors and I'm ready to make an appointment, but I'll give my wife a bit more time to get her SHT together before I press the issue. My wife is in IC, but I discovered that it was only after she confessed the affair to me that she brought it up with her therapist. This shocked me, as I would have thought her affair would be a major issue that she would want to discuss with her therapist. It turns out she's been getting advice on time, stress, and anxiety management and only just started talking through it with her therapist. Major red flag. It told my wife that I'm disappointed that she doesn't seem to be putting in the work to understand her motivations. What makes her think she won't do the same thing again, if she doesn't understand her motivations to begin with? She's not sure why she didn't bring it up, she says. There are more to come. Find out the update of this story, check our channel or the description. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.